been so intrigued and interested in this film ever since it was initially announced, and now it's finally here on VOD. Is it any good? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Capone, which is directed by Josh Trank. It's also written by Josh Trank, and many of you guys might remember this name because this guy made Chronicle, which I love Chronicle, but he also, a lot of studio interference on this film, so we're not going to talk about that movie, but definitely a certain superhero movie that was particularly not the best, but I don't actually blame him on that part. I've just been so intrigued to see what this guy was going to do next, because Chronicle is one of my favorite movies probably of all time. I think it was such a unique film. It was lightning in a bottle for how incredible that was, and at the time, found footage was not everything it needed to be, and I think the direction for that film, the vision for that is absolutely superb. That's why I was very interested to see what he could do with an Al Capone story starring Tom Hardy. If you guys are new here though, and you guys love geeky content, if you love talking movies, or in general, if you just want to be a geek like me, make sure you're going to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss out on content like this on a daily basis, as well as comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought. Are you guys excited for this movie? Are you not? It is on VOD now, so now you guys can stream it and watch it. Capone once again stars Tom Hardy as Al Capone. A 47-year-old Al Capone, after 10 years in prison, starts suffering from dementia and comes to be haunted by his violent past. Now, this concept alone is something, again, that is very interesting to say the least, because Al Capone is one of the most notorious gangsters ever. And Josh Trank taking on the story with the likes of a Tom Hardy playing this version of Capone is intriguing. Every set photo I've ever seen from this film had gotten me hyped. And to say the least, while I didn't love the trailer, I liked it. I didn't love it. It definitely had me intrigued, to say the least, and I will say this, I think what I see in Capone is that this is a very low-budget independent movie. You can feel it from every ounce of this movie, and anytime it comes to a low-budget independent film, I like to watch them and really just see the creativeness on the screen, and I think, for me, Josh Trank as a director, again, I think he's one of the most biggest visionary kind of directors out there, and I'm excited to see what he does next after this. I did not love this movie, and I saw this about 2 weeks ago, and when I first initially watched it, I liked it. I really liked it. But on, thinking about it more, I've more come to appreciate the movie and appreciate for what he was doing. And I still like the movie overall, but I still have some issues with it, which I will get to. But talking about the pros for this, I think the vision that Josh Trank had for this movie was incredible. And I even think the directing in here is actually not bad. It's actually really good. The way that Josh Trank frames his stories actually feels very much like a horror story, which, Chronicle had some of that. And I want to see this dude just do a flat out fresh horror film. But Capone, he's haunted by these pasts, and you really go through his perspective of dementia, and at times you feel like maybe you are with him. There's some twists and turns that get taken out through here, and it's a very bonkers and wild movie for the most part, and I give a very much acclaim and accomplishment for that, because I think it's very unique in the way that he's able to tell the story in those lights, and again, in the way that he framed the story in this horror perspective. It is very unique, and I love the way that he was able to take it. The way that he was able to really flesh out the dementia feel that Capone is going through is also very unique. I saw a film earlier this year at Sundance that kind of does the same thing, maybe in a little bit better style, but I love this different take that Trank was able to do, because this kind of PTSD feeling that Capone also deals with in his dementia is also super unique, to say the least. I keep talking about Capone, but Tom Hardy, whatever role he does, he always kills it. Speaking of why I'm wearing a Venom shirt right now, I don't love the movie, but I love him in the movie. I love Tom Hardy. I think he's one of the best actors working today, and him playing Capone just nailed every single moment of it. He embodied this character, and I love the look that they actually went for on Capone, but also the voice, and in general, the design of this character, the way that he plays off as it is just really excellent, and I think that is really a great work between a director and an actor in those styles. While everyone else does a really good job in here, it really comes down to Josh Trank and Tom Hardy being the main stars of this film. I'll even go as far as to say, I don't think people are going to love this movie. I really don't. I think there will be people who really do love this film. There will be people who absolutely hate it. But for me, I don't think there will be enough people who actually appreciate what Josh Trank was going for, where that's kind of where I'm sitting at right now. This is a very much a low-budget independent film, and you can feel that. And then, it's not the biggest budget. They really deal with more of what Capone is dealing with. And I think this is where I kind of start to get to some of my cons. There is one thing in this film that I just don't get why I was in it. The first time, I understand why it happened. I'm like, okay, I can get that. Even maybe the second time I get it. But there's one time in particular that it happens, and it near killed the film for me. It took away any anxiety that I had, any in-depth things in it, and I get this is Josh Trank's cut. It's very been much marketed towards that. I didn't like this certain particular element of the film. I get why it was there, but the third time was just like the cherry on top of just, it just didn't work. And it really took me out of the moment and took me out of the complete entire film. And for the back half of the movie, I still couldn't believe that that was in the movie. And for taking me out of the scenario so much where I was kind of in depth into this movie and really focused in, it kind of sucked for the most part, to say the least. I think as well as also on thinking about the movie, while I enjoyed it while watching it, it does feel like a bunch of different moments strung together. And I still wish, personally, that it was a little bit more coherent when it came to a writing scale. I think the writing is good, but I think it could have been great. To say the least, again, I liked Capone, and I think there are some excellent directing efforts in here, and I cannot wait to see what Josh Trank does. Again, his vision here is on the map, and I loved it, and I love what Tom Hardy does with this role. Can I just say this? I love Matt Dillon. This guy needs more roles. He's like great in this movie, just for the small supporting role that he has. Before I get to my final thoughts on Capone, guys, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this film. Are you guys excited about this movie? Are you not? Are you interested in this movie? Let me know down below, guys, as well as hit that like and subscribe. And if you want to be a geek like me, if you want to keep talking movies, I want to keep talking with you guys as well down below in the comment section. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early. And of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Capone is an interesting movie. It's one that has a very unique vision to it, and it's one that really kept me interested. It's one that I love the way that he framed dementia, especially since I'd already seen a dementia-filled movie at Sundance earlier this year and seen the two different ways that he was able to handle it. It's really intriguing, and the way that he frames this film as a horror movie is actually really great. I love the direction in here, and in fact, I love Tom Hardy's performance in here as well. There might be some slight inconveniences with the story department inside the writing that I wish were just a tad bit better. That doesn't make me sit here and go, man, I'm really disappointed in this movie. I was super psyched out of my mind for this, and did it reach the level that I wanted it to? No, but I still really liked it. I think Josh Trank is an inventive director, and I cannot wait to see what this guy does next. Absolutely, and again, can't wait to see what Tom Hardy does next as well. I think if you go into this film with an open mind, and you can actually see some of the great perspectives in here, I think that's what's really going to win people over, is Tom Hardy and the direction. Again, the writing, it's good. Not great. I think it could have been a little bit more strung together, a little bit better within the story department, even though this is more of a character study inside Al Capone's mind. And there is one thing in particular that I get what they were going for. It just didn't work for me at all. The first time, yeah. Second time, yeah. And the third time, that was kind of I don't like this. And it's not really much a spoiler, but I don't want to mention it because I knew about it going in, and I was like, oh, I can see where they're going with this, but I don't get it. So I want you guys to go in with a fresh mind in it. I don't get the choice on it. So with all that said, guys, I'm going to give Capone a C+. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this movie. I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts. So please make sure to comment down below. Let me know. Are you guys excited for this one? Are you interested? Have you watched it? Please let's discuss it down below, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. And of course, until next time, stay classy.